Hey. Welcome to the Not to Marketer podcast live. This is the first time that I'm recording the episode doing live stream. So right now I'm live streaming to LinkedIn. So bear with me if there are some glitches and some hiccups. I don't have any fancy equipment right now, so I'm just trying to do the best with what I have. However, I'm recording this locally, so in case that everything goes south, I'm going to be able to upload this video and the recording, of course, for the podcast on YouTube and on any other podcast platform. So I'm just testing this out. Basically, what I'm going to do is just to talk about one news that I wanted to share with you. You have to do with advertising and how to do targeting right now. So without any further ado, just kick this off. All right. So I'm just checking this LinkedIn stream dashboard, and apparently it's not doing so good. I don't know why. I have a good connection. I'm hardwired to the internet. However, it seems that the video rate is not that good. So don't worry. I'm sorry to those of you who try to see this recording live. However, let's just move forward. I promise that I'm going to keep improving this. This is just the first attempt to do this. I'm using OBS Studio, so if there's anyone out there that has pretty much more experience than me using OBS for doing live streaming, you let me know. I was trying to use Restream, but I'm being such a sucker for open source software. I wanted to give it OBS a try for this. So luckily, I'm going to be able to finish this off. Everything keeps moving rather smoothly. I think that the stream is kind of glitchy, but I don't know. Let's just move forward. So what I wanted to share with you, one article that I was reading yesterday that was kind of interesting for me. It has to do with an analysis that Adalytics did about how to do retargeting. And what they wanted to do is to verify how good companies and brand were doing with retargeting. Okay, they cover many different aspects. They also cover reach, segmentation, how good of a target has been defined, and it was kind of interesting because it gives us a glimpse on how companies, like very large companies, are dealing with these targeted ads nowadays. So let's just try to take a look at this article. Some of the final observations of the article, as you can see here, I'm just going to use the reading mode, has to do with they say that Amazon, Progressive, American Express, they serve ads to a wide range of users, whether Toyota, MasterCard, or CVS appear to have a significantly narrower approach. So basically what they are saying right here is that, I don't know, like Amazon, for example, does not care so much about narrowing it down to go into customers that are inside the funnel, the conversion funnel that would be, not as Zappos and PayPal, who apparently are aiming to people that are already in the conversion funnel. With that being said, one interesting thing here is that they have identified that PayPal appears to be overly optimistic with the prospective customer intent. Like they're just thinking that a higher percentage of their customers or potential customers are going to be converting to be actual customers, which is kind of interesting, especially being PayPal, such a large company. This is one of the, I mean, when you do prospecting 101 in the university, one of the things that I teach my students is that they have to be very careful on identifying on which stage of the conversion funnel the user is, so that they don't make any mistakes when trying to get out to them using any marketing collateral. They also identify some things interesting, like some pharmaceutical companies. They have been targeting people that are non-healthcare professionals, whether they actually should be targeting them, because for medicines and drugs that are just prescribed, so that what you want to do is to make your prescriber to know about and to be aware of that drug. They're not doing that, so we could think that they could be wasting some kind of resources there. Also, companies like Nike, they are 93% accurate with the regarding to the target they are choosing and they are going after, which is also not that or surprising, at least for me, for two main reasons. The first one would be that Nike has a strong and robust knowledge of their customers and their audience, but also there is another thing that it's interesting, and it has to do with the fact that Nike appeals to a broader kind of audience, right? So the chances to be wrong into who are you targeting are less, are rather small. And that, with that being said, one other thing that they also studied here, which is interesting, is how good are they doing with the gender-based, the behavioral art targeting, and some of the interest art-based targeting also. So let's take a look at here. One of the things that I wanted to focus on has to do with how they identify the calibration, the setup of the marketing funnel. Okay, so obviously one of the things that you have to be aware is which stages of your funnel are you going to be targeting, or on which stages of your conversion funnel are you going to step onto with marketing collaterals and advertising, for that matter, which is this case. And when we take a look at how some of the, I'm going to leave you the link to the article, because it's very, very, very good is a very good read for this. It gives a sense that there is not one size fit all. As you can see, we're taking a look here at different approaches to how they are tagging the traffic and the users coming and popping up in the different segments and the different stages of the conversion funnel. And as you can see, Zappos has one approach. Then we have the Rouse University School of Medicine, for example. Then we have also PayPal. Obviously, UTMs. I mean, we're not just judging if they use UTMs, because that is the way to go right now, right? But what we are taking a look here is their approach into what they use and how they tag that traffic that keeps coming from the internet. So it's interesting. So this is, I mean, oftentimes when I'm in class, I have some students asking some questions. Rather often the answer to any digital marketing question is it depends, right? So there is not black or white kind of answer here, and there are no absolutes in online marketing, for I would say that in marketing in general, but in online marketing, it's ever more truth, ever more true to that. The thing here is that when you analyze your business model, the approach that you have while doing online marketing, you have to adapt. You have to make sure that you are using the best resources to identify the things that works for you, and that you adapt any technology, technique, whatever methodology to that fits best with your target audience, with your product, and the way of doing business from the company. Oftentimes, and right now, you also have to think about the values of the company as well, to be in line with what the brand or the company defends and promotes. Another thing that was interesting was how they are targeting or tagging gender-based ads. Okay, so as you can see here, an example of Banggood was one of the UTM tags that they use is the gender. That is a parameter that they have defined for those for some of their campaigns, and one of the things that they analyze here is how these parameters, these descriptors suggest if they are focusing on male or female targeting campaigns. In this case, the gender of the given Adalytics, which is obviously the ones doing the research user, was cross-referenced to determine if the ad was accurately served, quote unquote. Okay. They also had as an example Nike, who they observed were running ads for both men's and women's shoes that when seen by different participants of that study, 78 Nike shoe ad impressions in total. 73 were appropriately matched, so that they did good. So they have a great approach into showing the right product for the right gender. Obviously, we are being simplistic here, thinking about two genders, but in the right moment. So, and this is easier said than done, especially when you work in the retail segment or industry. It's ever more difficult to make sure that you target the people that you want to target, and that we keep adding more layers to that when the segmentation based on gender is still we only have two options, but more and more platforms are making people more to choose, or users to choose more options to define their own gender. So this is one thing that you have to keep in mind when thinking about gender targeting here. In this article, it was super interesting as well. The behavioral and ad targeting, they focus on the healthcare professionals, which was interesting. One of the things that they mentioned was that there were several companies that they, as I mentioned before, that serving ads that direct the user to a drug information website that was intended for medical doctors or people that are healthcare professionals. So why? Because they are going to be the prescribers. So if you don't target those people, that could have, from my point of view, two readings, totally different readings. The first one has to do with a optimization of the campaign, but also, because you are not targeting the one person that you want to target, that it's going to make the decision, right? The decision maker, but also you could be facing the fact that you don't want to target the decision maker. You want to target the ultimate prescriber, which is going to be it could be the patient, it could be someone in the staff that doesn't have necessarily a responsibility in the healthcare system, but or unit, whatever, but that can ask and can start to be informed about the product or the drug in this case. And also, if you think about how users and consumers wants to be more and more informed about the things that they are using. We have seen this with COVID vaccines. A lot of information has been put out there, and a lot of people are interested in knowing everything about the vaccines. What are the difference between the main ones, side effects, effectiveness rate, and all the stuff. So this could be also another reading, which is not necessarily something bad from the strategic point of view for from marketing campaigns, right? Then thinking about interest-based targetings, we haven't said this, but obviously heavily based on Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, as you know. Things like the National Rifle Association, which is everybody knows that association in the United States. One of the things that they have been targeting are related interest, which is kind of, and this is not something new, but this is just revalidating how the mix and match between the behavior of your buyer persona can be used for campaigns to begin with. And this is something that, again, in class I tell my students a lot, because one of the things that you, especially since, for the past 2 years, I would say, when that you have been to be more creative when creating campaigns, especially on Facebook, because of all the limitations, and this has been becoming a larger issue since all the restrictions and the third-party data restrictions that we are having right now, and that we are still they're still to come with some other, with the cookieless and all the stuff from Google and Apple. And obviously, thinking about and going back to the drawing board to look at how your buyer persona is, that ideal customer, what do they care about, what do they purchase, what do they like, what do they listen to online, what do they watch, give you a lot of ideas to overcome those obstacles and to create a campaign that could be effective into getting to them without having to define or identify those specific interests that are related with your product, especially when you have some kind of limitations. Guns, alcohol, and many other different categories are banned and limited from advertising platforms like Facebook. So you have to be creative. You have to be very smart into how to get to that audience, and what kind of message are you going to convey to them, right? And last but not least, something that has been useful, very useful for many years now, the Lookalike audience. Just as you have, I don't know if everybody is aware of what a lookalike audience. Lookalike audiences are those that you can create on Facebook based on different parameters. You can create a lookalike audience to people that have converted to a specific campaign. You can create lookalike audiences to people that has followed your fan page. Well, it is not a fan page, your Facebook page. People that has come into your website. I don't know, anything that any action that can trigger a reaction that you can set as a parameter or as a value to create a lookalike audience. So this has been really useful for many years. For the past decade at least, for creating these more curated kind of audiences. one of the reasons why lookalike audiences work so good was because the profile of the users online was so enriched that it was easy for the platforms to identify similar patterns among different kind of users. So that way I could reach out to another user inside that platform that for which the rate or the probability of converting into becoming a customer was higher than if I was just trying to identify that for because of interest or whatever other criteria based on that platform itself. So that is what lookalike audiences are. So in this case, as you can see, or what they have identified is that they have a lot of use for many companies. One of the interesting things though that I read on this article was that the fact that lookalike audiences might offer a reduced return on ad spend, which is the amount of money that you have invested on that campaign, to small companies. And that makes a lot of sense. But for me, I mean, at least in my humble experience, that has not been the case. Because when you have a small audience, if you can replicate and create multiple they are going to be equally small audiences that has the same profile, the same template of those who have converted, it would be easier for you to get to that to those new customers or potential customers to make them convert. However, this is one of the things that they have identified. Obviously, this could be the case when you don't have enough data. Obviously, if you only have 10 visitors coming to your website, you have 20 followers on any platform, whatever, that is not going to be enough for, I mean, you have to think about statistics, right? You need to have a critical mass of data so that you can create a robust statistical model to find some other people that could be a good fit for you. So this was the article that I wanted to share with you, just because I didn't want to spend so much time in case that things didn't go well with the streaming, which I believe it's the case. I think it froze on LinkedIn. So I will need to check this with the LinkedIn team, and also probably is my problem. It's something that I did wrong setting up the OBS. But this could be the start of a new way of doing this, the episode of the podcast. Luckily, I'm going to post this to LinkedIn and to any other social network as well. Even though the stream was, I think it froze. Yeah, it totally froze. But the idea is to have I kind of like it more because it gives no chances for redoing things and to re-record some things that I've been missing. Being a professor and a keynote speaker, I love to make mistake on public. I mean, that is the nature of humans, right? And I feel more comfortable when I know that I cannot take I cannot take anything back when I make a mistake. And I think it kind of conveys a more truthful image of who I am in real life, right? So that would be it. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you listening or watching to this, and any other moment, just that I'm going to be recording these episodes live from now on, probably. Please, if you like it, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to leave you the link for this article on the descriptions on your podcast, and you're going to be able to grab it on any podcast service that you use, on YouTube, of course, and on LinkedIn. I'm going to leave it in my personal LinkedIn and the Not Your Marketer page, which oftentimes I don't post too many things there. That is the life of an entrepreneur, and when you do a lot of things and you don't have a team backing you up, you have to do multiple things. You are like an octopus. But I promise that I'm going to share that with you. Thank you for coming back. I'm just going to jump into the outro, and thank you for being there, and Limpy out.